Hello, I'm Dr. Christian von Lahr, and you're watching Messenger. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Brad King, a nutritional specialist, and he's the author of a new book, and new in this country, right?
Yeah, it's brand new. It's been out in Canada for about a year. It's actually just won the USA Book News Award in the United States as the Male Health Book of the Year.
Excellent, and it's called Beer Belly Blues. Now, before we get started, we want to let people know where your website is.
Sure.
And can they find this and your products that we'll be speaking about?
Absolutely. There's two websites. Okay. For Beer Belly Blues, which is about male menopause, beerbellyblues.com, and my main website is awakenyourbody.com.
Awakenyourbody.com. Excellent. Okay, we've invited Mr. King on our show because we want to bring in some new aspects of wellness. Now, in the New Age field, we do speak a lot about spirituality, psychism, crystals, and various modalities of wellness. And so we're going to want to bring in yours. Now, you're a nutritional specialist, and you do speak about hormones and proteins and vitamins and all of these kinds of things. And I'm going to try and just change the orientation now and speak more about conditions.
Okay.
And let's see if you can't bring that subject or that wisdom into it. Now, Brad, I notice in reading people, and I read just hundreds of people a month as a clairvoyant, as a psychic and medium, and we do see patterns and conditions around the country. One of them is stress and depression. I know you've talked with that recently with John Gray because I was watching that show. And I find that stress is very predominant in men and women.
Yes.
Now, stress is often interpreted as different things by those that have stress. They always think it's some other ailment or some other condition. Let's get a definition of what you think stress is, and let's see, is it something that's caused by childhood issues like many people think? Is it something that may be nutritional? Could it be deficiencies? Let's get that starting perspective.
Well, you know, great questions. And stress is really our perception of our surroundings. It's our reality. It does become a reality because our perception of our reality is what's going on. But it's really how we deal with our surroundings. And we have to understand that we all evolved as human beings.
Is it how we deal with it or how well we deal with it?
Well, it's both, really, when you think about it, because there's good stress and there's bad stress. But, you know, all forms of stress can be bad for certain individuals at the same time. Okay. So we have to understand what stress is. Stress is a response to our environment. It's an internal response that is created as a way of saving our life and helping us adapt to a situation. Okay. You go back a few thousand years ago and, you know, let's say there's somebody that jumps out of the bushes and has a big club and is trying to bang you over the head with it. Well, you know, you don't want to think about what to do. Oh, here comes this guy. He's about to attack me. I think he means harm to me. Okay, I got to remember, can I take him? No, I don't think I can take him. He's pretty big and that club's pretty big. So I got to remember where a good place to hide is. And I have to be able to run there to get away from this guy.
So it's also awareness.
Well, it's awareness, but it's the body's way of taking over for us in a situation where we may not be able to deal with it on our own.
So it's in that sense, the stress is not like an automatic response?
It's 100% automatic response. And that's our fight or flight mechanism.
And you're indicating also that we're conditioned with this. We've learned
we are absolutely
the eons.
Conditioned.
Okay.
Yeah, we are absolutely conditioned with it. Let me give you an example of conditioning to stress. Here we are, we're children. Okay, we have,
Well, I like the compliments, by the way. You're going to be on again. Okay.
Here we are. We're children. We're playing in the yard.
Sure.
We see a spider. We don't know that that spider may mean danger to our bodies. We've never been taught that. Nothing's been written in our program at this specific time for the spider. So we go to play with the spider. We're children. We're innocent. And our mothers come out running and screaming and pick us up and say, "Don't touch that. It is dangerous." And all of a sudden, we now relay this program. We write over this program that says that thing is dangerous to us. So the next time we see it, that becomes part of our stress response. So not all things really are harmful
Except
to us.
in my case, you would have said, more spiders.
Yeah, more spiders. It's the same thing. You know, some people don't do well public speaking. It's almost like they do have a dangerous spider, a black widow that's about to bite them. They produce the exact same stress response. We don't have to be in an actual stressful situation to produce the hormones that react towards stress within our bodies, we could be thinking about them. We can be worrying about them. And this is why the mind is so powerful when we talk about stress, because studies have actually shown that people that even worry about things can prematurely age their body to the point where they're aging an extra decade just because they're looking after children.
I'm going to stop you there
problems.
because we got a lot of things going on right there. First of all, let me just go back to the word stress. Are we adding the connotation that stress is a negative thing?
Not necessarily. Stress,
Okay.
Don't forget, is there to save our lives
Right.
as well.
Okay. So we're going to explore that in a second. Now, secondly, when you mentioned, what were you just saying? The last point you just mentioned.
I was talking about stress
Aging us,
prematurely aging
Exactly.
the body.
Yeah. Now, when we read people, and we do this clairvoyantly, we can actually look at them in a certain way where we can see the age they should be. And
Interesting.
oftentimes I will see the person that they're supposed to be, and it helps them to gain some sort of confidence when I can tell them the way they're supposed to look, where they were going when start out when they were younger, what their interests were, and then where their life is. And I'm saying, well, if we compare the two, we see where something went wrong, and it helps us find out where we should start bringing about a change. But it's interesting that psychically we have a blueprint that shows us where we're supposed to be. So stress comes in there, something changed us, right?
Absolutely.
So stress would be the factor there that actually ages us. Now, so stress...
Well, that's unrelenting stress.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's stress
can be good
that
or stress can be
never
bad.
subsides.
Right.
Yeah, don't forget, stress is there to save us in times of danger. We're not
And that's its primary purpose.
Exactly. We're
Okay.
not designed to have danger 24/7.
Right.
We're the ones that bring danger into our lives 24/7 because now we're worrying about every little thing within our lives and constantly producing
that's
stress
the word
response.
I'm looking for, the worry.
Yes.
Because stress to me isn't just danger, it's things that we're not used to handling, or we're handling too much, or we're overwhelmed, or we're in situations in life where we're not prepared for it. Aren't those stressful?
Absolutely. As
Okay.
in-laws. That's stress.
Oh.
You go back once again a few
Another
thousand,
show.
a few thousand years ago, and if somebody bothered you, you'd bonk
Right.
them in the head. That's what you do. We're relieving the stress response, right? The stress is giving us the power to be able to bonk them hard enough so they won't bother us again. But when's the last time you bonked your in-laws? You internalize it.
This may surprise you.
And that's a whole other show.
Yeah, exactly. So, is stress something that's more prevalent today than it was in the past? Because there are more
Absolutely.
factors contributing to it?
Yeah,
Okay.
two things. Yes, it's more prevalent, and number two, we're not dealing with it as effectively. I think what's even more important for the audience to understand is that we're not dissipating the stress response. We're creating it, but we're never getting rid of it.
Okay.
And stress is only dangerous when it hangs around a little too long. Here's what I call stress the invisible saboteur. And I don't know if you've ever had, do you like parties? Have you ever held a party?
Oh.
Well, there you go. I mean,
Weekly.
you've never invited me. Thank you very much. So here's the thing. Anybody who's held a lot of parties, who likes to entertain other people, For me, I always have a party where someone ends up showing up at my party that I didn't invite, and worse yet, I just don't get a good feeling about this individual, and they still show up at the party. So someone's invited them there. And to make matters even worse, they're bothering people that I want to be at my party, and then they're the last to leave the party. And they're the last to leave because they don't get the message that the party's over. And here I am in bed with my wife trying to go to sleep, and they're sitting on the edge of the bed still talking with a drink in their hand.
Yeah.
The point is, they don't understand when enough is enough. And that's what stress is. Stress produces a chemical
Good metaphor.
called cortisol. Cortisol is this very powerful stress hormone that can do many things to help you. It can create fuel, it can make you stronger, it can make you remember things, places where you hid, it can make your eyesight more acute, your memory more acute, all of these wonderful things. But if it doesn't go away, it becomes problematic. So it's easy enough to invite to the party, it's very difficult to get rid of, and that's what stress is.
Latently, it's got all this potential.
Yes.
Okay, but it's still got to be managed. All right.
Yeah, and we need a rest from it. We need a constant rest. Take an animal in nature. Take a zebra who's just been chased by a lion and has actually made it past that danger. What happens is that zebra has had to create a very powerful stress response to allow enough blood supply and oxygen to its peripheral tissues so it could run away to see another day instead of becoming that lion's lunch.
Yep.
Now, what that zebra does is the stress hormones don't stay elevated. The zebra doesn't go, oh my God, I wonder if the lion's coming back. It doesn't worry about it because there's no more danger. So these stress hormones dissipate. Now all of a sudden, that zebra gets a ravenous appetite, and it starts eating all the grass to replenish the fuels that it just utilized.
Right.
Now when it eats all of that grass and replenishes, it says, I'm tired, I've got to rest. The zebra takes a sleep, and when it sleeps, that's when the body regenerates so that it can live to see another stressful day.
So we see the chemical change. Now, this is an interesting aspect. I have this sense, from my observation, that people tend to be addicted to stress. I mean, it's like
interesting.
It's like they learn, they see it so much in their life. They learn they should have it. They see it with their families. They see it with other people. They're in situations where they seem to constantly be reinforcing stress. I don't know if it's learned or imposed on, but it's like they don't even know to stop producing the stress.
Or is it that they're just more comfortable dealing with it because they've been dealing with it for so long that they don't know anything else?
I don't think so. It actually, even when people talk about it, it's almost like they want to own that stress.
Okay.
As if it's mine. When we come back, we're going to explore some other facets of stress with Brad King.